Hello, peoples of the internet. This is Eminough, and we're back with some more Mercury. Now, I wonder... Let me just go ahead and... Pardon the cough. Let me just go ahead and unpause that here, and let's see if we can put another culture point towards independence. And we can. Now, I haven't gotten much of a response either way in regards to the video length, so this video, since I'm recording it a lot later in the day than I would have liked, is going to also be 30 minutes. Or, thereabouts. So let's go ahead and continue on our merry way and see if we can't increase the pressure. So, we've got the thermal dust built. We're almost done with the children's crèche, which is very nice. And we actually have quite a bit of credits, quite a few credits, 217,000, and growing at an appreciable rate for this point in the game, if I do say so myself. 4,616 unaided credits growing per minute. That means that we're getting that much even without any boosts. Now, the next thing we're going to want to do is basically just wait for something new to happen, because at this point in the game, we're not earning credits quickly enough to do anything near to the start of the game, as well as just researching lots and lots of different things to help further our causes. And we don't need a cultural revenue boost because we don't have cultural revenue yet. And that's pretty much all we have to do for right now. So let's go ahead and take a break really quick. Let's go ahead and just observe Mercury as it rotates from day to night and back again. And just for fun, here's a map of Mercury as it stands right now. As you can see, there's not that much different from the Mercury we know and love today. So let's come to our colonies. Oh, the Yedbro's children's crèche is finally finished. Excellent. And that means that we are currently growing at a rate of 28 people per minute, which is pretty good, except for the fact that we are completely capped out on population. So let's see. We could build another hab unit, but that seems unnecessary. Let's just go ahead and upgrade this hab unit, which will take only 20 minutes, so it'll be done by the end of the episode. Cultural revenue? We don't have any of that, but thank you for the offer. Okay, and now, everybody, let's just go ahead and take a minute to plan out how we want the rest of this series to go. So, what we need to do in order of importance is we need to increase pressure and try and decrease temperature at the same time if we can. But if I had to choose, I think we would be wise to try and increase the pressure first. Because if I'm remembering correctly, let's come over to the research tab. We're currently researching the Atmogen suite, which adds pressure and oxygen. And then after that, we could potentially research and build a pocket mine, which adds a lot of pressure, even more oxygen, and also contributes somewhat to the economy, it looks like, because it's got 1900 credit growth as an additional bonus. Mining revenue boost. Now this is something we do need. So I'll be right back, everyone. We can continue our thing after this. And also after this, let's go ahead and do paid broadcasts. Now let's go ahead and take them up on this offer. I'll be right back, everybody. We've got this lovely boost, and let's get back to our planning. So, what we're going to want to do is, after we finish researching the Eminough suite, let's go ahead and let's actually start on our water adding capabilities. So next up on the list after the Eminough suite is done, I think a wise choice would be the Cloud Seeder. Let's see where this transmission is. 1 free Genesis point. No thanks, I don't think that's worth a commercial break right after the one we just had. If it was 3, I would consider it. Let's hope the game isn't sentient and didn't just hear that, because it very well could. But in either case, let's go ahead and check up on Gedborough. We currently have 1 thermal dust, 1 hab unit going to level 2, 1 hab unit sitting at level 10, and a children's crutch, which is currently at level 1. And let's go ahead and, in temperature, let's build an aerostat platform. And actually, we are too poor at the moment to afford an aerostat platform. We need another 375,000 credits. And at the rate at which we're growing, that's only going to take 20 or so minutes. So by the end of the episode, we should be able to build ourselves an aerostat platform. Of course, the other option we have is we could put a few Genesis points towards it, because, if I'm not mistaken... Oh, you clever game. You noticed that we have cultural revenue now. Let's go ahead and decline that, though. We don't have quite enough to justify that. Let's come back over here. I know we can't build the aerostat platform, but I'm curious. Okay, so it doesn't even tell us what it does there. Okay, so easy enough. Let's just stop misclicking all over the place. Let's come over to the research tab. It does contribute money to the economy. So, yeah, I feel justified in getting some credits. We only need to spend 5 Genesis points, which in my opinion is a pretty good deal for 1 million credits. And of course the deals get better as you go on further, but we don't have that many Genesis points right now. So, let's go ahead and build this aerostat platform here, and we are saving that for when we finally get around to researching the Hab complex, which should definitely be our next research task. And I know I said that we would want to do the Cloud Seeder next, but until we've got until we've got a higher atmospheric pressure, the water we're generating is just going to waste away. Oh, free of charge. Thank you, game. So, at this point, there really is nothing to do but wait. Let's come over to... and let's see what Hyza is up to. Can we build a new mine? We've got silver on the brain. And right about there. 600,000. It should be worth it. Yep. 2,360 credits per minute just from that silver mine, which is Heiza Delta. Now let's come over here to money, and we are growing at a rate of 15,093 per minute with our revenue boost. Pardon the bit of jostling there. The next thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to decline that. Okay. But really, at this point in the game, it's going to just be a bunch of waiting, unfortunately. Because we've got our systems mostly set up. We've got an Atmogen suite in the making. We have a children's crèche for when we've actually got more space to put more people. And we've got a thermal dust generator. A thermal dust generating building that's going to help us raise the atmospheric pressure a little bit. In fact, you can see right here that we're growing at a rate of 4 per minute, which is pretty good. As you can see, we have 72 whole pascals of atmospheric pressure, which means we're almost 1/10 of 1% of the way done. And that's pretty good, even though this is technically mission year 400 thereabouts, we've only been actively playing this game for maybe 50 of those years, maybe 20 of those years, somewhere in that range. So we're making pretty good progress, despite what it looks like. And that's entirely my fault for leaving the game on between episodes. 2 Genesis points for a commercial break. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I'll be right back, everyone. Alright, and we are back with 2 more Genesis points than we left with. And true to the expert mode rules, we can't put any more culture points towards victory for another 106 minutes. So, let's go ahead and retreat to the main screen and come check on our colonies. How much longer do we have before this hab unit is finished? 8 minutes, 50 seconds. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Until the planet has been terraformed, settlers can only survive on the surface using self-contained airtight habitations. A hab unit is a simple, compact structure that can support an early landing party or the beginnings of a new settlement. That it is. And I really feel like if we want to be true to more of the reality of terraforming Mars, the first satellite we should build is the Soletta. That way, we've got some physical structure in place that we know would actually help manage the temperatures on any planet really, but especially on Mercury. And while we're waiting for something else to happen, let's just go ahead and watch the world turn. And for those of you who are wondering, or rather who are curious, I'd like to point out a couple of things on Mercury while we're watching this. So, Mercury looks more or less how we remember it, doesn't it? How it's all gray, it's got some splotches of darker gray on it. And by now I should have pointed out at some point these light green and these pink spots up near the equator. Up near the North Pole. Now, the elements that mainly cause reddish and greenish hues to appear are copper and iron, which means that if this map is accurate to real life, there's some copper and some iron, maybe even some phosphorus and some other similar elements to be found on Mercury, and that's pretty cool. And so as far as economic opportunities on Mercury, I don't know that there would be that many, just off the bat, and just for people who are looking to mine valuable resources from other planets. But of course I could be wrong. I haven't done any deep research into the composition of Mercury or necessarily any of the other planets. Now let's see what this transmission is. Cultural revenue boost by 200% for an hour. No thanks, we're good. And notice how many craters there are on Mercury. There have been a lot of impacts on Mercury over the course of its lifetime, as you can probably imagine, and one of the reasons for that is there are a bunch of meteorites, or comets, or meteors going all throughout the solar system, as you probably know. And a lot of them, since most of them originate from the asteroid belt, a lot of them that are going to be coming through the inner part of the solar system don't really hit anything because of how much empty space there is. And of course they're all falling towards the sun, which is the center of gravity of the solar system. And so if it doesn't hit Mars on the way in, and it doesn't hit Earth, and it doesn't hit Venus either, then the only other planet for it to hit, of course, is Mercury. And Mercury, being so close to the sun, doesn't really have that much of an atmosphere to protect itself from meteor strikes. Let's see, 2 Genesis points. No thanks, I'm in the middle of an explanation here. So for small to medium-sized asteroids, if it's coming to Earth, for example, it'll experience friction and heat as it's coming into the atmosphere, and that's what causes the tails to appear on the meteorite as it's falling to Earth. Is the heat and the materials coming off of the comet of the meteorite in the direction that the friction and the air currents are all sending it. And if it's below a certain mass, then it will entirely burn up before it ever hits the surface. And the same is especially true with Venus, whose atmosphere is a lot thicker than Earth's. And so I doubt it has very many craters at all, because I don't know if many asteroids are going to make it into Venus's orbit, let alone at the right time for it to go through the atmosphere and impact it. But Mercury doesn't have any sort of atmosphere at all. At least it didn't until we came along, and now it's got 72 pascals of air pressure. And so anything that goes on a collision course with it doesn't have to pass through any atmosphere or anything like that. So the whole thing just slams right into Mercury, and that's why it's got all these craters. And that's pretty cool, in my opinion. I mean, if I were Mercury, that might hurt a bit, but it's still pretty cool. And of course, if I'm getting any of these facts wrong, you can feel free to point that out in the comments. And if you happen to know the answer, as well as the fact that I'm wrong, then go ahead and comment that down below. I love learning more about space and the planets and all sorts of stuff. So, like I said, if you found any holes in my explanation or think I left anything out, leave it down in the comments. I'd be super fascinated to learn more about all this sort of stuff. And our Atmogen suite has another hour 14 minutes before it's done being researched. We've got an incoming transmission, 2 Genesis points free of charge. Thank you very much. And at this point in the episode, let's go ahead and come over to colonies. I'm pretty sure that the Hab unit is nearing completion. Yep, less than 30 seconds now. Let's go ahead and wait for that to finish building. Unfortunately, I don't think this is going to add a significant amount of population slots in Yedborough. But I am fairly certain that it's the more cost-efficient way to add them in. So let's see. That added around 80 population slots. Yeah, that's not bad at all. And if we've got the money, plus 43%, plus 43 change, take 39 minutes. 2,000 credits. Okay, this is more cost efficient at this point, but we're going to hold on and we're going to go ahead and hang on until we can research the Hab complex. Yeah, I know we need to research the transit network first, but that's okay. And we don't have enough credits to research the Hab complex, as well as the fact that we're already researching the Atmogen suite right now. And if we wanted to hurry it up, it would cost 5 Genesis points, and that is a lot to spend on just rushing a research task, so we're going to leave that be. Alright, now let's come back to the main screen. And look, we've almost got 600 population now. If we come over to the people tab, we're going at 27 people per minute. Oh, we've already maxed out how many people we can be holding. That's insane. That is insane. Oh my gosh, everybody. Oh my gosh, that was surprisingly quick. I didn't expect it to happen that fast. Incoming transmission, cultural revenue boost by 200% for an hour. No thank you. Now, just to remind myself, it costs 5 million credits to make the second colony. Alright? And we've got 2 rather productive mines right now. One's earning 4,667 credits per minute, and the other is earning a whopping 8,926 credits per minute. Now, coming back to the main screen, And coming over to the culture tab, we can see that in the next 94 minutes, we will be able to put another culture point towards victory on Mercury. So we're just going to leave that be. And as for the status update of the video, the year is 2488. We have 311,000 credits and climbing. We are currently maxed out at a population of 596, and our current priority is to increase pressure, which we are currently doing at a rate of 4 pascals per minute. So we currently have 131 pascals of air pressure. And I believe that as soon as we hit maybe 1,000 pascals, we'll switch to a different task, and I imagine that task is going to be to decrease decrease temperature. But of course, if we want to get anywhere fast, we're going to want to try and multitask a little bit. So we're going to be hosting a bunch of different facilities in our colony, and our second possible colony to help us not only increase the rate at which we increase or decrease certain characteristics about the planet, like the temperature, the air pressure, the water levels, but also to help keep it all in a balance. There's going to be a bit of a balancing act, especially with Mercury and Venus, but especially with Earth. Actually, I think it's really interesting. Oh, we've got a level 4 mine in Hyza Alpha. Very cool. And Hyza Alpha is an iron mine. Okay. But as I was saying, I think it's really interesting because the task of keeping Earth habitable in TerraGenesis is a lot more difficult than I would have expected it to be. I've legitimately tried several times, and I've yet to do it. I'm going to be right up front and honest with you. I have yet to keep Earth habitable. And I wonder if part of it, just because of how the game mechanics work, I wonder if part of it is to let it kind of slip into chaos and then rebuild from there. I don't think that's necessarily required to keep Earth, or to get Earth to a stable habitability score of paradise. But off the top of my head, I can't think of any other way that might work. So we're going to have a lot of fun trying out Earth later in this series. I'm gonna give it one or two tries, trying to keep it from collapsing to a barren wasteland, but if that proves too difficult for me to maneuver, then we'll just let it collapse and then maneuver it back to paradise from there. By the way, comment below if you have any strategies for winning at Earth. I would love to hear them. Ooh, Hyza Gamma has hit pay dirt. Very cool. Very cool indeed. And beyond that, let's see what this transmission is for. 2 free Genesis points. No, I think we're, well, sure. I'll take this one up. And then, and I'll see you guys right after the break. Alright, thank you all for bearing with me. We've got 2 more Genesis points now. Now let's see. I wonder... Okay. With 20 Genesis points, we can get 5 million, whereas it would cost 25 Genesis points to buy individually with 5 Genesis point in-game purchases, and 10 million if we use 30, whereas it would take 50 with individual 5 Genesis point purchases. And of course, we can buy more Genesis points if we want, for up to $100 at a time. And if you do, you get 3,500 Genesis points and 1,750 bonus Genesis points on your first purchase. Oh my. They really know how to sell these things. But I'm not gonna be taking them up on that offer, because we don't need Genesis points that desperately in this game. And I don't think at any point we'll need that many points. I do wonder if having enough Genesis points to keep to research everything that you'll need and stuff like, and to keep the ecosystem in balance would be a way to keep Earth from falling into a barren wasteland. But as per usual, I'll try it for you guys. I'll try to maneuver it myself for you guys without buying any extra Genesis points, and let's go ahead and release the water. It won't matter in the end anyways, because look at that. We still have 0 centimeters of water, and it's really interesting that we ran into an aquifer on Mercury, because of course lack of air pressure won't matter to water below the surface, but I would imagine that the extreme temperatures and relative closeness to the sun wouldn't do anything to keep water from ever really staying on Mercury for long periods of time, especially in liquid form. But in either case, this is a game, and there are certain mechanics that are necessary to help maintain interesting gameplay and whatnot. So I'm not gonna criticize or overanalyze anything too much. And I think this is about a good place to leave off. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Sorry that not much happened to this episode, but you'll have that, especially at the beginning of the series. So let me know in the comments below. How you're enjoying this, and if you've got any questions or any comments. I do read the comments and reply to as many of them as I can. And if you've got any questions, I will be sure to address it in the next episode of TerraGenesis. Relevant to, at the very least, relevant to the video on which you commented. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more TerraGenesis videos. And remember that I also do other games like Minecraft and Subnautica and Plague Incorporated when I've got time. And with all of that being said, I will see you all in the next video. This has been Eminough, playing TerraGenesis Mercury. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you later. Goodbye.